Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our city council meeting will be starting in approximately 1 minute. Please find your seats at this time so that we can begin. Thank you.
This regular council meeting of the 38th City Council of Oak Park, Michigan is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk Ed Norris, would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Here.
Councilmember Weiss.
Here.
Councilmember Edgar.
Here. We have a quorum. Next, please note that there is an addition to the agenda. Please, under item 15, add 15C, which is a resolution about the Jefferson Health Plan. 15C. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the consent agenda, which are routine items presented without discussion. Any council member can ask to have one removed for discussion. A, regular council meeting minutes of November 18th, 2019. B, organizational meeting minutes of November 11th. C, zoning board of appeals meeting minutes of September 24th. D, corridor improvement authority meeting minutes of July 18th. E, public safety activity summary for October 2019. F, Parks and Recreation Commission meeting minutes of October 16th. G, payment of invoices from G2 Consulting Group for material testing on the 9-mile road diet project for the total amount of $10,978.01. H, payment of invoices from OHM Advisors for bridge enhancements, safe routes to school, preliminary engineering, 9-mile road diet construction engineering, and AMP GIS support for the total amount of $37,505. Finally, licenses, new and renewals, submitted for December 2nd. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda passes. There are no elected officials present, no public hearings, no special licenses. We are down to item 13, ordinances. Second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Article 2, definitions, Section 204, Article 18, signs, Appendix A, zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan. Is there a motion to approve the second reading and adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. And who seconded?
I did.
Got it? Councilmember Weiss. Would our city attorney just summarize, please? Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor. You have before you as we previously
Are you on?
discussed. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
No,
Okay.
you're on.
This is our second reading of a proposed ordinance amendment to the, just the sign portion of the zoning ordinance. As we had discussed at length previously, we've been working with a consultant for about the past 2 years on revising our entire zoning ordinance. Because of some recent Supreme Court decisions regarding content neutrality, we thought it prudent to move up the revisions to the sign ordinance, which you have.
Wonderful. Any discussion or questions? No, roll call vote? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Okay, so this is this is the adjusted ordinance in regards to signs. Are the changes too specific and detailed to point out to us?
Councilmember Burns, I believe this version does not have the red line. I can provide you with that separately. It was presented during the first reading. I think you now only have the proposed final version, but I can get that to you. That outlines all of the changes. They were extensive throughout, from the definitions through the application, throughout the entire ordinance.
Yeah, I would like to see it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Motion carried. City Manager Eric Tungate, please.
My goodness. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to have Director Crystal Van Vleck join me at the podium to discuss 15A, please.
Evening, Mayor, Council. Tonight I have for you the grant contract for this year's Michigan Indigent Defense Grant. So if you remember, the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission was created by legislation in 2013 to ensure the state's public defense system is fair, cost-effective, and constitutional. The commission has released a set of standards to be followed by all courts in the state, which have been approved by the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. Each local system is asked to create a plan and a cost analysis annually to ensure compliance with these standards, with the cost for compliance being borne by the state. City administration has worked closely with the court and our local MIDC representative for the second year in a row to complete a compliance plan and cost analysis. The commission has approved our plan for compliance and therefore a grant for the cost to come into compliance of $454,539.17. So tonight I am requesting that City Council approve the grant contract for the with the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission, contingent upon final review by our city attorney.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve a grant contract?
So moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion or questions for Director Van Vleck?
I think it's great.
Can you go into that more because you're more familiar with it?
Indigent defense is a big problem in society as a whole. It's something that I've seen up close and personal, and it's certainly something that needs more money. So any funding that's going to be available to give people due process of law and to protect the Sixth Amendment, I think is very important. It's not enough, but it's a good start.
Good.
Good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Edgar.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Okay, 15B, Director Maroney, if you could take this one, but before you do, if I could say for the final time, I hope, pending council's approval, that I take full responsibility for the purchase of these hideous planters that some have termed to look like coffins. It is 100% my fault. I thought they would look wonderful years ago when we bought them. So hopefully, with council's approval tonight, we can right some wrongs.
Oh, that's okay. You only approved them because they were on sale and you thought it'd be a great bargain for the city, trying to save us money, right?
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly. So, good evening, Mayor and City Council members. In front of you, I was given an offer by a business to purchase our 20 planter boxes that we purchased 3 years ago. Spoke with City Manager Tungate as well as our Director of Finance, Sandra Crawford, and they said by approval of City Council, we can sell them to the person who has made the offer to us. The plan is to sell them 10 planter boxes immediately, and then the remaining 10 after we're done with our winter planting season, because we had already contracted with our company to plant them for the winter, so I was able to negotiate only planting half of them. And then in the spring, they'll be all gone, and we'll have new planters that we can purchase in their place with the money that we get tonight, or not tonight, get from this business when they purchase them. We purchased them 3 years ago for $595 each, and we felt that selling them at $300 each would be a fair offer, and selling them at a little over half price of what we paid. So with your approval, we can move forward, send them an invoice, and get rid of half of them right away.
Do we have a motion to approve the sale?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem and seconded by Councilmember Weiss. Councilmember Weiss.
Do we have any plan for what we'll be replacing them with?
We'd like to stay consistent and replace them with what we are using on 9 Mile currently. All the new ones that were placed there, we would match them throughout the rest of the city as time goes.
So not coffin shaped?
No,
Okay.
no, we won't let other people select them this time, right?
Okay, a roll call, I believe.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar.
Yes.
Is Mark Manklin here?
No, but I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll have it come up too.
Motion carried.
Okay,
Item C.
I don't see our consultant, so I'm going to have Director Brooks join me at the podium. Item C, thank you for allowing us to add this to the agenda, council members, but Director Brooks, let me take a shot at this, and then you fill in the gaps where I'm not expressing it properly. 15C, we just were able to get legal review. This is, I'm going to give you the watered-down version of all of this. Within our health insurance plans, we have what's called a stop-loss carve-out provision of our plans. The stop-loss is a separate section of this that guards us against catastrophic claims, large claims. We're a pay-as-you-go entity. And so this is the one way that we pay up to, I think it's $85,000 per each one of these claims, and anything over $85,000 is covered under the stop-loss fund. As a result of, we've had a few years, we've been fortunate, but as a result of a couple of years where we've had some larger claims, obviously Blue Cross has looked to increase our premiums that much more on our stop-loss fund. We were able to secure which is what this agreement is, we were able to secure a proposal from a municipal healthcare pooling company, which is not very regular in Michigan in the world of municipal government. It is in schools, but not in municipal government. And the plan is called Jefferson Health Plan, as you can see from the contract in front of you. They will allow us to carve out just the stop-loss portion of this. And if you have, I think you have this chart here that I'm looking at. If you look at this chart, you can see on the top what, on the bottom, what our current is, and it's about $182.43 per contract that we're paying. Blue Cross said to us that our renewal was going to be about $232 a contract, which would have been an increase overall of about $120,000 a year. So we went back to Jefferson Health Plan and we said, you know what, yeah, we'll consider doing business with you if you can match our current rates without this huge increase. And so they came back and said, yeah, we'll get as close as we can at about $186 per member. which would only be an increase of about $8,000 over the previous year, which we thought was a pretty fair deal. And that includes a $8 per contract penalty that Blue Cross can charge us for leaving their stop-loss fund coverage, which is ridiculous, I know. But that includes that penalty, and so our stop-loss premium would only increase about $8,000. Did I get that? Is that, I got it? Okay. Well, I took a shot in the dark.
Well, I have a question.
Questions?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem?
So the stop-loss coverage, it does not have to come from the main insurance company, Blue Cross Blue Shield?
That is correct.
So by us going through the Jefferson Health Plan and getting a reduced cost for the stop-loss coverage, it will not affect the employees' insurance coverage, their rates or anything, correct?
Not in any way, shape, or form, and from my perspective, because it allows us to carve just that piece of it out, why wouldn't we take this opportunity to save this much money?
Okay. Just
I
want to
think
make
the
sure.
annual budget savings, when you watered it all down, was about a $75,000 savings. Well, I'll take a $75,000 savings any day of the week.
Yeah.
So we pounced on the opportunity. It does require us to participate as a member of this pool. This is one thing the city attorney pointed out in the resolution before you. Not only does it approve us joining the pool, and obviously you think about, municipal insurance, the more people that pool together, just like with our liability coverage, our liability insurance, the more people that pool together, the bigger your spending power and, ability to negotiate prices. So first, we'd have to join the pool, and that resolution is authorizing us to do that. And then second, it is allowing us to enter into this side agreement for the stop-loss coverage.
And where is the motion for this? Where's the motion?
Oh, am I not? Oh, right here. Just this resolution. So it's a resolution authorizing the City of Oak Park, Michigan to establish a public employer pooled plan and to enter into the agreement of the Jefferson Health Plan, Michigan, and execution of the Jefferson Health Plan, Michigan Large Claim Reimbursement Program bylaws and trust agreement.
Is there a motion?
So moved?
Mayor Pro Tem moved the,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember Radner.
Madam Mayor, I have a few questions.
Yes, please.
And I don't know to whom I should direct these, but I'll just ask them and then let you all decide. How many other cities in Michigan participate in this?
That we're only going to be one of two that are going to be joining into this consortium right now. The other city is Rochester, and it's only because their city manager has a familiarity with these pooled plans, because in Illinois, where he used to work, this is common among cities. It's actually common among cities in Ohio as well. It's just Michigan where it's weird like that. But I see, Jefferson Health Plan obviously is now in Michigan, and I see it just going from here.
Okay, and how many cities are there in total that are part of this?
In all the states?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How many states are involved in this? Do you know?
This is primarily Ohio and Michigan. One of the things I wanted to mention too is that, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Vicki, I believe that the pool of funds that we're going to be able to draw from, should we have these large claims that exceed the 85,000, those pools we'll be using from other municipalities paying in. They're allowing us that luxury to do that as well, which I think is another advantage, because we don't have to build up a fund in advance of it in preparation for it.
I understand that. So how many cities from Ohio would you say? Are we talking 10, 20, 50, 100? Any idea at all?
I could speculate if you want.
Yeah,
but
that's fine. And I won't hold you to this. I'll accept that as speculation.
I think it's the vast majority of Ohio cities are involved in a pool like this.
Okay, so
I
are we
don't
going to
think
have a
it's-
seat at the table?
What's that?
Are we going to have a seat at
Yes.
the table? We're going to have a board seat?
We will have a board seat in Michigan, yes.
In Michigan, meaning, so us in Rochester, we're going to have a seat.
That's correct.
And how many seats are there in total, if I can ask?
I don't know the answer to that. Not sure on that one.
Okay. I haven't read
Two.
through this word for word. I know our attorney has. We're going to get treated exactly like all the other cities? We're not going to get treated like the Michigan stepchild?
No, and in fact, what we first have to do is establish the pool here in Michigan. As the city manager indicated, right now it would be the city of Oak Park and the city of Rochester. We would have to file an application with the Office of Insurance here in the state of Michigan. That would have to be vetted and approved. As far as the city attorney, I'm sorry, the city manager indicated, we will have the advantage of taking, the ability to take advantage of the pool that's already established through Ohio, but there is a provision that all of the money that is deposited by the Michigan entities will be used primary, essentially, and there will be a reimbursement back to the Ohio plan. So just to be clear on that, because there has to be a segregation of those funds. And then also, while the city of Oak Park and Rochester are the initial 2 members, once this pool is established, if it's approved by the state of Michigan, any Michigan municipality that has an interest in the ability to meet the statutory requirements could then join that pool.
That's kind of a little bit what concerns me, depending on which cities decide to join in and take advantage of this. Can I ask how many are there other programs like this that cross state lines? I know there's like MMLs and a lot of states have something like that, but
Well, this is a little bit unique. I look at this a little bit differently than that, though. I would say this is us getting in on the front end of something, and because we did that, and with such a little portion of it, we're not taking our whole healthcare system to this. We're just taking this one carved-out
The large
stop-loss
claims,
piece.
right.
And so to me, the opportunity is, getting in on the front end and then having a seat at the table on a go-forward basis and being able to make these decisions that will have a huge impact as Michigan becomes more and more acclimated to it.
Have any other cities in Michigan expressed any interest in something like
Oh,
this?
absolutely.
Okay, so this,
Yeah.
all right. There's a question for both you and, well, I guess all 3 of you, if that's okay. Just because I'm trying to gauge this on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all and 10 being extremely. How much do you want this to happen? Is it something where it's like, yeah, may as well, or is it, no, we got to do this? This
Do
is
you want me to answer that first, you guys? Or do you want each of us to answer?
you first.
10, because I see no risk to us. And number 2, I would never let Oak Park be pushed aside by anybody. But number 3, if there's no risk to us and we're not going to let Oak Park get pushed aside, we're going to have a seat at the table when other communities didn't choose that option. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we want to save $75,000 plus and use that money for better purposes throughout the city?
Okay, fair enough, thank you.
Do you want
You
that?
guys don't have to answer. Eric convinced me.
As a condition of joining, we do have the opportunity to exit after 1 year if
Yeah.
we don't like it.
Okay,
Yeah, I forgot
thank
to
you.
mention.
Thank you all, and obviously this took a lot of work, so thank you for the work.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Okay, roll call then?
Madam Mayor, sorry.
Nope, sorry.
I had a quick question as well. If I got this right, City Manager, you said that Blue Cross Blue Shield can charge us $8 per employee for exiting their plan.
Yes.
How much would that cost us in total?
The total cost, I don't know if I have the total penalty cost, but I don't have that broken out in this chart our consultant has given us. But again, I think the bigger thing is just that from current premiums to new, it's only going to be an $8,000 increase, where if we just stayed with Blue Cross, it would be a $120,000
Right.
increase. But if I could editorialize on that a little bit, I find it utterly ridiculous that Blue Cross has the legal capacity to, and right, to penalize us for finding a better use
Better
of
deal.
taxpayer dollars. I think that's just
I
ridiculous.
agree. And you say that they have the right to, does that mean that that is automatic, or they may choose to or may choose not to? I assume it's automatic.
Yeah, yes, I think we're bound by contract,
Okay.
and those are built in.
Thank you.
Are we ready to vote?
Can I ask, what is the exact motion that's on the table? Is it to do both phases right now, or are we doing this in phases? To authorize everything? Okay. All right, thank you.
You're designating the city manager as your authorized representative, because each member city has to have an authorized representative, and this resolution appoints the city manager and your finance director, Sandra Crawford.
Okay, thank you.
Are we ready to vote? Yes, roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes. Motion carried.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, call to audience. We have new audience cards. Please limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Anyone?
Go ahead, Ms. Bang.
Is that on louder?
Sorry.
And get closer.
Joyce Bannon, 10611 Troy. I want to wish everybody happy holidays, peaceful, safe, and nobody else is here, so I thought I'd say that for you.
Thank you. Call to council, Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Please be careful. It's going to be cold. We're getting down to some cold weather tonight. And please dress accordingly and bring your pets in the home.
Councilmember Radner.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Councilmember Weiss.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to remind everyone that leaf pickup ends very soon. For some of us, it may have already ended. So if you haven't gotten your leaves out there yet, do so quickly. I know I live in Section 4, and my last pickup is the 5th. If you're not sure what section you're in or when your last pickup is, you can go on the city website. It's the first banner you see when you log on. It's also in the city calendar as well. And additionally, I'm excited to report that the first Traffic Safety Commission meeting will be taking place this Wednesday, December 4th. And we are tasked with dealing and addressing concerns about speeding on the side streets and other traffic safety concerns. And so we will be starting work on that this week. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Great. Thank you so much. Councilmember Edgar.
I just wanted to say that if you see piles of leaves covering a sewer grate, just kick them out of the way. If leaf pickup is finished already in your neighborhood. And you might want to pick up a piece of trash or two if you see it. Helps keep Oak Park clean. Anyway, happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you. Driving by 696 in Coolidge, I noticed that they have finished taking down the prison fence. And just not seeing it there was such a lift as far as the way it looks and pride. Even with the orange barrels there, it looks way better. So I'm looking forward to the real fence coming up, and I'm just delighted. Thank you for coming. Have a great week.